Hello Internet friends, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. On this Friday evening, did you see that sunshine today? Beautiful ridge of high pressure setting up over the Pacific Northwest gave us some really nice views. Beautiful sunset tonight. Not particularly warm though. Temperatures a bit on the cool side, and because of those clear skies, it's going to be chilly overnight tonight as well. I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but let's dig right in, especially as we look towards the weekend. We've got a system moving in on Saturday, and we're keeping a close eye on those king tides. So let's start off with a live look across Seattle. This is right around 9:30 on Friday night, and again those skies clear for the time being and those temperatures cooling very quickly, even with a little north breeze on top of that, making it feel even chillier. Currently in the mid-30s. It will touch down at the freezing mark in the Seattle metro tonight, and some spots could hit the upper 20s. Now, despite that sunshine, it wasn't particularly warm out there today. This is right around where we should be this time of year. The 30-year average out at SeaTac is 48. 45 is what we achieved in Tacoma, and again, that warmth that we generated will go up and out into the atmosphere overnight tonight. So bundle up if you're heading out late or early on Saturday morning. Speaking of Saturday morning, we've got a system pushing in. Looks like it's going to bring a round of low rain and mountain snow above 2,500 feet. In fact, we have an advisory in place I'll tell you about in a moment. Dry stretch ahead starts on Sunday. A little weak system pushes through on Monday, but otherwise looks like we could see abundant sunshine again next week. So let's talk about flood potential. As it stands right now, we only have a flood advisory along the immediate coast and out near the Strait of Juan de Fuca towards Port Angeles there. That'll be in place from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Saturday. Minor coastal flooding this time around could get up to about a half a foot above ground level for those coastal and low-lying areas. That will move inland starting on Monday as we start to see some of those king tides. So let's talk about that. It looks like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be the most critical days for the king tides. So we'll keep a close eye on that, especially in the early morning hours between 6 and 8 a.m. Now, what we're looking at this time around is the potential for those tides to get over 13 feet. Very similar to what we saw last time, but a different set of circumstances in place here because we've got this ridge of high pressure in place. So even though we've got this system moving towards us, the upper levels of the atmosphere are actually keeping those tides suppressed. The difference last time around in December is we had a very strong low pressure system. In fact, one of the strongest ever recorded in the Pacific Northwest, and strong onshore winds. That's not the case this time. So even though there will be some minor flooding, we don't expect it to be anywhere even remotely close to what it was in December. So just to explain the science behind that a little bit, low pressure, like we saw in December with those king tides, has a tendency to pull upwards, and that actually enhanced those high tides a little bit. This time around with that high pressure in place, it has a tendency to suppress. So we're not going to see anything dramatic, but at least it will keep them from getting too high there and stay right in that 13-foot range. Take a look at satellite radar. You can see that clockwise flow around the high, and that is what's in place in the upper levels of the atmosphere and kind of helping to keep some of that water where it should be. So let's put the future into motion here. We go overnight Friday into Saturday morning. This is right around 7:30 when we expect some of those showers and some bands of heavy rain to push in along the coast. Fast forward to the lunch hour, especially between about 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., and we will see steady rain that will be periodically heavy up and down the I-5 corridor and Puget Sound. We'll also see some of that snow starting to dip down, especially up towards Skagit and Whatcom counties, where it could be getting down to some of the lower levels there. We'll keep a close eye on that. 6:30, then we start to see that rain tapering, but it will be curving around the Olympics there and keeping things wet across Puget Sound and the Hood Canal, and then we start to see some clearing. There'll be some convergence for sure. That'll continue to drive snow up into Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, but by the time we get to Sunday morning, everything moves on. We'll see some low-level cloud cover and some fog early, but we'll see some sunshine as well. You notice there on Monday morning, we'll see a system that'll push through, but that thing's going to be moving real quick. Doesn't look like it'll have any impacts whatsoever. Forecasted winds are fairly light on Friday night. Now, they will pick up and become onshore as that system moves in on Saturday, but again, not expecting that to affect the tides, but it'll be gusty, especially down towards some of our southern counties. Hoquiam and Olympia will see gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour, and we'll see some 30s in Tacoma and Seattle. That'll be Saturday evening, but then by the time we get to late Saturday night into Sunday morning, it starts to mellow. In fact, most of us be right back to calm again, making for a very pleasant day, but a foggy start. Winter weather advisory in place for the mountains. That'll be in place from 10 a.m. Saturday to 4 a.m. on Sunday. Looks like we could see some significant snow above 2,500 feet here. tomorrow, Saturday morning, not a whole lot to speak of, but by the time we get to Sunday, yeah, we're going to start to see that pile up. It looks like the big winner, if you want to head down south, could be White Pass with 1.5 feet of fresh snow. Snoqualmy's going to do really well, and it looks like Baker and Stevens will pick up about 1/2 foot. Overnight lows will be cool tonight. Make sure you bundle up there, especially the Seattle Metro will touch down at the freezing level. Saturday, we'll see that rain taper to showers in the afternoon and evening, and then look, as far as the eye can see, those overnight lows will be back in the 30s. Those daytime highs will be in the mid-40s, but starting on Tuesday, looks like we're going to start to see more abundant sunshine, so even though it won't be warm, it will be sunny. That's it from the King 5 Newsroom on this Friday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep looking up.